By the end of this experiment, I had more money sitting in my savings account than I had managed to keep in the previous 3 months combined. I did not earn extra. I did not give up things I actually cared about. All I did was make one strange decision 30 days earlier. I stopped treating money like a serious adult responsibility and started treating it like a game I genuinely wanted to win. Before any of this started, my financial situation was not a disaster. It was just a fog. Money came in, money went out. I had a rough sense of my bills, but beyond that, I honestly could not tell you where most of it disappeared to. I had tried tracking before, lasted maybe 5 days. It felt like a chore, and I hate chores. So I thought about why I never have a problem spending hours on a video game. And the answer was simple. Games give you feedback instantly. Every move has a visible result. Every decision feels like it matters. Money in real life does the opposite. It just quietly disappears, and then one day your account balance hits you like a wall. So I decided to flip that. The first week, I did one thing. I gave myself a daily spending target and checked in on it every single time I spent anything. No complicated system, just awareness with a number attached to it. When I could see my daily total climbing toward a limit in real time, I started questioning purchases I would have made automatically before. Not because I was forcing myself, just because the cost suddenly felt real. Spending money without tracking it is like driving with your eyes closed. The second you open them, everything changes. That week alone, I kept more money than I had kept in any single week in months, and I hadn't cut a single thing I cared about. Week 2, I made it harder on myself. I introduced streaks. Every day I stayed within my target, I logged it as a win. Every day I went over, I logged it as a loss. But the moment I got 4 or 5 wins in a row, something shifted. I started making decisions based on protecting the streak, not just protecting the money. And protecting a streak feels nothing like a budget. It feels like a game. I had one rough day midway through week 2. Stressed out, not thinking, I made a purchase I hadn't planned for. Broke the streak. And instead of that being the moment I gave up, like it always was before, I just wanted to start a new streak the next morning. That one reframe changed everything. Week 3 is when it got uncomfortable. I started noticing things about my own behavior that were hard to ignore. On high stress days, my spending went up. On weekends, my impulse decisions doubled. These were not random patterns. They were habits running in the background of my life without my permission. That week became about observation more than action. Not fixing anything yet, just understanding. And understanding a pattern, honestly, is the first real step to changing it. By week 4, the tracking didn't feel like extra work anymore. It felt like the normal way I existed with money. The friction was gone, and that's when the real shift happened. I stopped trying to be good with money and just started making decisions like someone who already was. At the end of day 30, I sat down and looked at the full picture. My unnecessary spending had dropped significantly. My savings had gone up more than I expected. But the number that actually surprised me was this. Roughly a third of what I had been spending every single month was going toward things I could not consciously remember choosing to buy. Not bad purchases, just invisible ones. And making them visible was all it took to change the outcome. Willpower is not a reliable system. It runs out. But when you turn something into a game, you don't rely on willpower. You rely on wanting to win. And that's a very different kind of motivation, one that actually lasts. I'm not saying this approach works for everyone. I'm saying it worked for me when nothing else had. And the only reason I think it worked was that it stopped feeling like discipline and started feeling like play. If you're someone who's given up on budgets before, it might not be that you lack discipline. It might just be that nobody ever gave you a version of this that your brain actually wants to engage with. If this video gave you something to think about, drop a like and share it with someone who needs to hear this. And don't click away yet because my next video is something you are really not going to want to miss. See you there.